My name is Ines Papert. I'm from Germany and I'm a climber, passionate climber. I couldn't say what kind of climbing I prefer because I'm a rock climber. I love ice climbing. I do alpine climbing and I love it. And so that's basically what I'm doing since quite a bit. My main objective was actually to go to Patagonia and to climb a route. It's called Riders on the Storm. But to be prepared for that trip, I went to Canada and we climbed a new route on Mount Waddington in the coastal mountain range. It's a beautiful area and so wild. It's been just crazy nice. So we climbed a 600 meters pillar on the highest peak of British Columbia, and by the time we climbed it, I kind of learned more about my climbing partner, Marianne Smith-Gilbert. She was my partner for Patagonia and she is a machine. So I thought she had the skills, and when I asked her if she would like to join me to Patagonia, she was totally in. And of course I completely changed my training strategies and climbed on El Capitan, the Salate. I climbed last winter a route, it's called Ritter der Kokosnuss, is M12, it's a trad route. So I like and prefer the traditional climbing, and as bigger the faces are, as more I appreciate the climb. I fell in love with Patagonia and with that mountain we climbed and with the route Riders on the Storm, but we were unfortunately missing to climb 4 pitches, free climb 4 pitches, so we summited and it's been a really tough adventure. But we couldn't free all of the pitches, and that was the main objective, beside the summit, of course. And yeah, and then the question came up, should we go again? But there was 3 situations. I kinda, after the third one, my answer was pretty clear, because we got hit by a piece of rock, our portaledge, and the fly totally broke. So we could have died while we were sleeping in the middle of the night. And also we had lots of ice fall after the bad weathers. And the last day I humored up a static rope and I pulled the rope off the snow, and I've been 400 meters above the ground, and I just saw that I was humoring on a destroyed rope. It was just one lace left. So that was just the last kind of situation who was responsible for my decision. And when I think about other teams, so we had the 5th ascent after 25 years. So after 25 years ago, the route has been first ascended, and we were the 5th team who climbed the summit. But no one else came back again. And you know, when you look at the team who did the first ascent, that's been a really hardcore team, like Wolfgang Güllich, Kurt Albert, Bernd Arnold, and 2 other Germans. They didn't free as well, so, but they never returned. So my answer is they were scared to go again, and I'm scared as well. Climbing is my life, and climbing means a lot to me, but I do have responsibilities to my son, and I want to live forever, you know. I want to see so many other places I haven't been before, and the risk is, for me, in my opinion, too high. But I really hope that Marianne is gonna go for it, and that she finds another partner, and that she's lucky enough with the weather, because I know she's able to do it. Our next expedition is gonna go to China. A mountain it's called Kysul Askar, and that mountain has seen, or that face, the southeast face, has seen many attempts. 2 of them were I, but unfortunately we didn't climb it all the way up to the top. So that the last attempt we went, I was in 2011, and I thought someone should do it, you know, just to get it away, or to get it out of my mind. But still no one climbed it, so it's our goal to finish the line. It's about 1,200 meters steep mixed ice climbing up to a peak in the Chinese Himalaya near the Kyrgyz border, and it's just below 6,000 meters. So I'm psyched to go with my friend Luka Lindic from Slovenia this time. The line is just magic. It's obvious that there's ice on the bottom, so you have maybe 400 meters really steep ice climbing, like vertical, and then you have many pitches, very complex mixed climbing. I would say that was hard M8 what we climbed the last time, so we climbed all the hard part, so I can tell it's possible, and I hope we're gonna get the same conditions as we had the first attempt, just a little bit more weather luck. The first expedition in 2010 was with Thomas Senf and Wolfgang Rusecker. Both are really good friends, but Thomas is like a brother to me, and I was hoping he would come again, but he's a photographer and he makes his money with photography, so that kind of time-consuming expeditions he only can push forward if it's a job, you know. And so that was the reason he didn't join us in 2011 when I went with two other friends, but both were let's say not known climbers, but really good climbers, but they struggled with the altitude. I mean, the mountain is almost 6,000 meters, and if you don't feel good in the high altitude, you can't climb hard. And yeah, recently I asked Luka Lindic, and he was completely into it. He's full of energy, full of motivation, and in love with the line as well, what he has seen from the pictures I brought home. In 2010 we actually climbed almost 200 meters below the summit, so all the hard climbing was behind us. We bivouacked after we climbed 1,000 meters, and during the night a storm came in, and big avalanches like spindrifts fell down on us, and we had to bail. Obviously, it's been way too dangerous, but the good thing is that not a single rock came down with the loose kind of snow, so the rock quality is just perfect. So I'm really psyched on also for my future to focus on lines with not the maximum risk, you know, more like where you can calculate the risk. And Patagonia was a bit too much of the uncalculated dangers. So I'm psyched to go again, and it's gonna be cold because we need the cold temperatures. It's late in the season, but the reason is we want the cold, we need the cold, and hopefully we got enough ice to be able to climb it again and to summit. I never climbed on really big trips with Luka, but when we climbed in Europe, in the Alps, it's been always fun, and I see in his eyes this kind of motivation, this kind of, you know, he has the skills, he is a nice person you can stay with in base camp even if the weather is not that pleasant and you have to wait for a weather window. So that's really important for me, to share those kind of trips and expeditions with people I appreciate, and I feel this kind of close friendship. Luka is also in the Arc'teryx team since 5 years already, and he has been quite unknown in the beginning, but he did such a great how you say, in the past years he kind of pushed it really forward, and he has been every single year 2 to 3 times per year on expedition, and he summited a lot. He, you know, he has this kind of spirit and fire inside. So we met on the Arc'teryx Academy actually when we teach clinics together, and we noticed we don't live too far from each other, so we did an appointment for climbing. And so yeah, the climbing world is small. We have this kind of events or where we both are participating, and that's always nice to meet those people, other athletes from other countries with other languages and other approaches. It's really fun. You know, when I started climbing, that was actually pretty late. I've been more than 20 years old, and I started with the alpine climbing, easy scrambling and then a bit harder, and I've been really psyched and pushed it forward a lot. But at the same time, the Ice Climbing World Cup appeared, and for some reason I thought, let's go there and let's try to get maybe into the finals. I never expected to be on the top at the beginning, but it's been quite easy for me, so I decided to keep going, and it got harder, of course. More women started to train hard and started to get into the hardcore sport as well. But with the ice climbing community during the World Cups, I noticed that I want to go back into the mountains at some point, and I want to climb new routes. I want to repeat hard routes, and I started to appreciate the traditional climbing. I climbed in Scotland, I climbed in Switzerland, and actually all over the world. But ice climbing is just, you know, one discipline, and for me, in my opinion, you're just a complete climber if you climb on a high level in all those kinds of disciplines, and at the same time it's a really good training for the Himalayan climbing. When you climb hard technical routes, you have to bring the skills, and so I'm a curious person. I always wanted to learn new stuff, things I'm not good with, so I also started to climb more in granite and crack climbing, and finally, which is not the end of the story, but that was for sure a highlight, to be able to climb in Patagonia Riders on the Storm, because that route involved really everything, like hard rock climbing, alpine climbing, full on big wall style with hauling and living in the wall, and on top of that the technical ice climbing at some point. Yeah, I hope that what I'm doing has some influence for other women, and I feel that I pretty much noticed that when I do presentations in front of a big audience, there's always people coming afterwards, and especially female climbers, who talk about their fears and about how they appreciate what I'm doing. But I'm sure that of course not every single woman has the skills to climb on a really high level, but the level doesn't matter. I always tell those people, once you have a dream, make sure you don't miss to get your dream real at some point, because you're gonna get mad in your life. And that's especially happen with women when they get kids and family. They focus completely into their family, and which is good, but on the other hand, they don't have to forget about themselves and about their dreams. And that's what I try to combine. I combine the climbing, the alpinism, with having a child, which is already almost 16 years old, but now he's my climbing partner. We go exploring the mountains, we climb, we ski, we bike, and we travel a lot. So I think my son would never argue about the life he lived so far, because I am away from home sometimes, but I do also spend a lot of time with him. So I think he's not missing anything. So, and I hope I give this kind of thinkings and ideas to other female climbers. I really hope that.